By the start of this year, I had been in business for almost an entire year, and so my goals for 2023 were heavily focused on growing my business and expanding it. Hi, I'm Jen. I am a self-taught artist and small business owner, and in 2023, I wanted to grow my social media followings, start a YouTube channel, and launch a couple of new products for my shop. Today, I'd love to share with you how I accomplished my goals this year and what I intend to do in 2024. By the end of 2022, while I had a much smaller following, I was starting to find a groove for myself when it came to posting content to my social media platforms. So one of my goals for 2023 was to grow my following, and at the start of this year, I had 2.3K on TikTok and 2.7 on Instagram. So my goal was then to reach 10K on TikTok and 5K on Instagram. The reason that I set the goal for TikTok higher than my Instagram goal was because I had already been posting on Instagram consistently since October 2021, whereas I only started posting on TikTok in the last few months of 2022. So the rate at which I was growing on TikTok was just greater and faster than that of Instagram. I know follower counts are not everything, and having a large following doesn't always equate to more engagement, sales, or reach. But knowing that my following is growing helps me understand and know that I am reaching more potential followers and customers. And so I was very happy that I was able to reach and surpass these goals. Currently, I have 17K on TikTok and 8K on Instagram. I think email marketing is very important, and it is something that I recommend artists and small business owners to start. With email newsletters, you can reach your audience directly and give them information without the distractions of social media. With this in mind, I wanted to put a more directed effort into gaining more subscribers so that I can keep them updated on everything that was happening and all the things that I was planning for the future. I started my newsletter in November 2022, and so I started this year with just 17 subscribers. My newsletter was fairly new, and I was unsure at which rate I would grow, so I just set my goal to reach at least 100 subscribers. And as of right now, I have almost 1.5K newsletter subscribers, which is significantly more than what I had expected for myself at the start of the year, especially since I was very unfamiliar with how email marketing works, and getting started was just a little bit daunting to me. But whenever I find myself in this kind of situation, I often look to online sources to learn. And one of my favorite sources is actually the sponsor of today's video, and that is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with an extensive library of classes for creatives just like you and me. Their classes are led by industry pros who have walked the walk and have an active community of members ready to cheer you on. So, whether you want to build a subscriber base for your email newsletter, learn the basics of graphic design, or open your first Etsy shop, Skillshare can help you get there. For me, I really wanted to learn and get a better understanding on how to create effective and interesting newsletters for my business, while also cultivating my subscriber base. So the class that I found to be very helpful to help me get an initial understanding is called Email Marketing Essentials: Designing Effective Emails by Fabio Canero. Taking this class really helped me to start to feel more confident in my abilities and really made a difference for my newsletter. So if you want to check out Skillshare for yourself, I highly recommend it. The first 500 people to use my link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can get started watching their classes today for free. And because I really want you to get the most out of your free trial, I put together a list of classes that I've taken and recommend to help you on your own creative journey down below. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back into my goals for 2023. I've always known that at some point that I would want to make videos for YouTube, and so I decided that this was the year to do that. I wanted to create videos about my journey and the things that I've learned so that I could share it with others who were on a similar path. I like to share these things because I know it is incredibly useful to some, and I wanted to have another way to connect with my audience. My initial plan was to post once a month whenever I started, so that I can ease myself into a consistent schedule. but as I was putting together my first few videos, I found myself really enjoying the process of creating and editing longer videos, and so I decided to change my posting schedule to 1 video per week, and I've actually been able to keep that up. At the time when I started posting, the requirements to apply to the YouTube Partner Program was to have 1,000 followers and 4,000 watch hours. And because these are quite high achievements and based on the rate of my growth on other social media platforms, I set my goal to get 500 subscribers. I felt that this was a modest goal and one that I felt was very attainable and realistic. However, to my complete surprise, I have exceeded my goals and expectations far more than I could ever truly imagine. Currently, I have almost 39,000 subscribers, and that is just so amazing and incredible. So thank you for always supporting me and my journey, and for encouraging me to continue. It means the absolute most to me, and there is not a single day that goes by that I don't think about how grateful I am for every single one of you. Through this growth on YouTube, I've seen just how impactful it has been in other aspects of my business. And I believe that the reason why I was able to successfully attain the goals that I've mentioned earlier are largely due to the growth that I experienced on this platform this year. And so again, just thank you so much for coming here and being a part of my community. I've been using Notion since July 2022 and has completely changed the way that I organize and plan my tasks, projects, goals, and content. I'm always recommending it because it is such a helpful and versatile tool that almost everyone and anyone can use. And so a template was something that many were requesting from me after seeing how I was using it in my own business. And I know that Notion can be a little tricky to get the hang of at first. And since I had already created my own planner, I decided that I wanted to share my own Notion templates. So my goal was to make a couple of templates that I could offer on my shop for those that wanted a little head start into using Notion. It was a lot of fun to create and put together, and so far since I launched it in May, everyone who has purchased it has given me such positive feedback, and I'm glad that I was able to provide such a helpful tool for others to use. The very first product that I had ever worked on was a coloring book a few years ago. I made it while I was still working at my previous job, and it had been several years since I had done anything creative. So I was a little bit rusty, but I completely enjoyed and loved the whole process and felt really motivated to get back into art. I made 2 more books that year, but I didn't really share them because my art was still changing and I knew my skills were going to improve. So at the start of this year, I had set the goal for myself to give coloring books another go and to create at least one, which I was able to do this past fall. It has 18 full-page illustrations that depict my characters doing various fall activities, and I just love it so much, and I was so excited to share it and see it go out to so many lovely homes. While my goals in 2023 were centered around growing my business, my intention with my goals for 2024 is to establish stability. And so here are my goals and steps for how I might achieve that this year. For all of this year, in the back of my mind, I was thinking about updating my website. Nothing is necessarily wrong with it, but I've hardly changed anything since I've launched it back in March 2022. So much about me, my art, and my skills have changed and developed, so I'd like for my website to reflect that. So this year, it is at the top of my mind to set time aside for that and just get it done. I haven't completely planned out everything, but my goal is to probably start thinking about it and set time aside for it in February or March. I also want to keep growing my social media following across all of my platforms because this is how I can see that my business is still growing. My goals are to get another 15K on TikTok, 8K on Instagram, and another 12K on YouTube. I know this year there has been a huge increase in gain in my stats, but for 2024, my main focus is to create stability and maintain the consistent and steady foundation that was established during 2023. I've been toying around with the idea of starting a Patreon for some time now, And I know that many other artists and creatives have started their own to provide exclusive content to their supporters and create a closer connection with their audience. This is something that I'd love to do, and I've been collecting an ongoing list of ideas for possible rewards, benefits, and tiers that I'd like to include. I haven't completely decided when exactly I would start, but I think I'd like to reach about 100K followers total across all platforms before I completely jump into planning and preparing it. So in the meantime, I'd love to hear what you would like to see if you were a patron of mine in the comments below. I've worked with some really cool brands and companies this year, some of which that I've had a long time interest in, and I would like to take what I learned this year and continue that into the new year. So in line with my goal for stability, I'd like to get at least one sponsorship per month because I want to foster a long-term relationship with brands that I really like to work with. This year, I released a new coloring book, and it quickly became the bestseller on my shop. I really enjoyed the whole process of coming up with the ideas for each page and bringing the whole book to life. And since so many of you have been requesting for new additions to the series, I have plans to release 3 new books this year. The next one will be a winter-themed coloring book, and it will officially come out in January, but the pre-order is now open, so if you'd like, you can reserve your copy today. And that wraps up my 2023 year and my current goals and plans for 2024. I hope that you found this video interesting or helpful, and if you did, feel free to leave a like below. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on more art business related videos just like this one. Thank you so much for stopping by today, and I appreciate you so much for watching. I hope that you have an amazing day and week ahead of you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!